What's up, everybody? This is Brian back with another deck profile. What do we got for you today? Javian, would you like to tell him?
We've got exosisters today.
Okay.
All right. So exosisters is an Exceed-based deck. I play a very simple list. It's still under construction. So right now it's more of an anti-meta deck, and you'll see the text as to what makes it anti-meta. So we're running 2 Irene. We're running 3 Ellis. Ellis is great because Ellis can either be special summoned off of the effect of Martha, or she can special summon herself from her hand, allowing you to continue your Exceeds plays in case your Martha gets impermed or veilered or ashed or something. Like, she'll pop herself from the hand if you have her in hand. Sophia. So Sophia allows you to draw a card as long as you have another Exosister monster on the field. Stella. Stella is more like a marauding captain. If you go ahead and you summon her, you can special summon another Exosister from the hand. And they each have effects that if they have another name on the field, they can go ahead and you can gain 800. So, for example, I believe if Stella and Ellis are on the field at the same time, when you resolve Stella's effect, you can gain 800 if Ellis is already on the field. You have to kind of be careful as to how that works out, because with Sophia, it doesn't matter as much because she can still get her draw effect. All right. The best Exosister in the game, Martha. If you have no monsters on the field, or all the monsters you control are Xyz monsters, she special summons herself, and you can special summon Ellis straight from the deck. She's a very powerful card. All the Exosisters are really good and really clutch, because if your opponent moves a card from their graveyard, whether they banish one, they return it from the graveyard to the deck, or they go ahead and add from graveyard to hand, wherever, if they just move a card from the graveyard at all, each of them can go ahead and exceed summon into the other Exosisters that are in the extra deck, just by using that card themselves. The trick is that Martha is the only one that does it if either graveyard moves. So that's why she's the best Exosister, because if you move something from your graveyard during your opponent's turn, then you can exceed on your opponent's turn and go ahead and do interruptions. All right, the next card we're looking at, again, this is an anti-meta deck, so 3D shifters. All right. Tier is graveyard heavy. Sprite sometimes has key cards, in their graveyard. Branded Despia, even Branded Tier, all of those cards are graveyard reliant. Anything playing Shizu cards is graveyard reliant, so you want to go ahead and try to remove as much threats as possible. So that goes ahead and goes into double DD Crow. You can play 2, you can play 3. That depends on your build. But the way I'm playing it is double DD Crow, 1 Sereneer, 2 Druid Worms, 2 Magnum Huts, and 2 Lebellion. So this is straight up graveyard hate, and it helps your Exosister engine kind of like stay online, because what it does for you is that it gives you that power that you need that Exosister doesn't have. And it also helps interrupt your opponent on their turn to make sure that your Exosister extra deck cards on field stick, so that you can continue rolling advantage onto the next turn. All right. So from there, we're going to go ahead and go into spells. 1 Branded Regain. You can dump this, through Rebellion's effect, and eventually get it back and activate it onto the field. This probably might change, but right now we're playing just 1 Dimensional Fissure. We might go ahead and have 2 in the side deck, or bump this up to 3, because this deck doesn't really care about its monsters being in the graveyard. That's why the Dimension Shifter doesn't really hurt. However, it really stops a lot of the meta decks right now. The tech choice here, instead of the 2 Dimensional Fissures, was the Super Poly. I mean, it's a spell speed forward card. You can't stop Super Poly, so you might as well use it. And a lot of decks use the same kind of monsters and then same kind of attributes. So it's good for Mud Dragon, and it's also good for Garura. 3 Pax. Pax is essentially your searcher. The good thing about Pax is that you could go ahead, if you have an opposite exosister monster in the grave or on the field, you can actually special summon the card that you search. So if I have an Ellis in grave, I can special summon my Stella straight to the field and go off from there if I needed her body onto the field. The downside to the Exosister spells and traps is that you have to pay 100 to activate them, so you have to really manage your resources very carefully. One Macrocosmos, starting off at the traps. It just got released in 3. This is a card that it's personal choice. Most people want to play it 3-dimensional fissure and 1 Macrocosmos. That's a consideration that I might be doing. I might play 3 and 3 and then just use the side deck to go ahead and be matchup specific. Branded Beast, same thing as the Branded Regain. You do your Bellion and your Bestial plays. 2 Exosister Vadis and 2 Exosister Returnia. So Vadis is great because Vadis allows you to go ahead and summon 2 Exosisters on your opponent's turn at the cost of 800 life points. And if anything is moving in the graveyard, they'll be able to exceed summon using their effects. Now, Returnia is excellent because if you activate Vadis before Returnia, then you can potentially get 3 banishes on your opponent's turn. But on activation, Vadis is an automatic banish. So you get at least 1 banish out of this card, 2 if you've exceed summon that turn. So the other effect that Returnia has is that if you have the monsters on the field, for example, if you have 2 Exosister monsters that are just sitting there that didn't activate their effects or their effects were negated for whatever reason, Returnia will also allow you to go ahead and exceed summon. So you have to choose either to get the second banish or to get an exceed summon. All right, that's it for the main deck. Let's go ahead and go into the extra.
It's funny because you played a card that's a staple for his extra deck. He plays Tapio Dragon.
Alright.
Yeah.
So for the extra, we play 1 Jabrine, 1 Acid double Caspatel. Caspatel is a key card. Only need 2 of her. She searches your Exosister monsters. Triple Mechalist searches your Exosister spell and trap cards. Also has an effect that could banish on summon, and has a quick effect to search. And then Magnifica, the boss monster of the deck. Oops, 2 Magnificas. And then 1 Wallow. Wallow obviously is there because of the Bestials. The Magnifica is a great card because on summon she is a quick effect banish. So it doesn't have to happen on summon. You could do it on summon, so you can save that effect. However, her second effect, if you have a Mechalist under her, because she's able to be summoned by using 2 Exosisters Exceed monsters. If you have a Mechalist under her, her effect is to send her 1 Exceed monster that's under her as material back to the extra deck, and then you can special summon another one from the extra deck using her as material. So you could get another banish to summon the Mechalist. There's the Mud Dragon, the Garura, Predaplant, Dragostapelia, Starving Venom, and then Trivivertum. This is here because of tier boards that are really strong and have 2 Dragostapelias. I can burn 2 Dragostapelias and get myself a Trivivertum. It's and use 1 of mine if I need to, or I could just really clear up their board. And if I have Macrocosmos or Deep Fissure, it really devastates their board. They can't activate their effects.
Alright,
so profile.
So that's Exosisters.
Yep.
Hit like and subscribe. Thanks. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
Catch you on the flip side.